Well, hello there, everybody. Had a little momentary glitch there. I'm like, well, where's the intro? And then as I was getting ready to see what in the heck was going on, boom, one of them popped up. Wasn't supposed to be in that order, but that's okay. And here I was talking out of turn and said, look, I think everything is working perfectly. Well, here we go. I was incorrect in that statement. That's for sure. Well, I hope everyone is doing well this evening. Haven't seen you for about 2 weeks, but just been a little bit busy. You know how it gets sometimes. You're trying to keep up with everything and get stuff going, and you just get busy. But I was away last weekend down in Yuma visiting the parents, and so I spent a little time with them and popped home. And by the time I got back, it was just a little late. And to get a thumbnail up, it just wasn't going to work. Wasn't going to work. But it is good to be back and sitting here to say hi to everybody and hope everyone is doing well this evening. I know I am. Those of you that were following along before got over one heck of a cold. I mean, just seemed like when I think I was getting better, boom, here it comes again. I mean, it was almost like no end to the thing, no end. But now, thank goodness, I think we are square and ready to roll. Hope everyone else is feeling good too. But anyway, so I don't know if any of you guys tuned in. Oh, what was that about? 2 weeks ago. I ended up doing an impromptu tasting on Livewire with Mike, and we had gotten some samples delivered to us by Ed of wild turkeys. And the samples that we got were all Wild Turkey 101. The first one was from 2022. Second was 2018. Second one was 2015. And the fourth one was from '07. And so the whole thing on that is we had a discussion a little while back, and people said they like the older turkeys better than the newer turkeys, or the dusty turkeys better than the ones made in the last 2 or 3 years. They felt the quality of the juice in the older turkey products far exceeded what they're putting out now. My words. Okay. So Ed just happened to be in the chat and he said, I'll drop off some samples. And so he did. And so I was going on Livewire 2 weeks ago just to say hi and, stop and visit Mike for a minute. And he said, hey, let's do the flight. So there we go. And let me say this. If I don't know if you watched it or not, but I tell you what, I don't know what your opinion is of turkey. And before I tell you mine, and those of you that did watch might remember, those of you that didn't, I will tell you here shortly. But do you, one, do you drink Wild Turkey 101? And if you do you think, yes or no, that the turkeys made today taste different than the turkeys made 5, 10 years ago, let's say? Just using that, uh, just saying, do you think that there is a difference? So that being said, let me know. Hey, Rob, cheers, man. Sorry, I'm ignoring chat a little bit here. I'm rambling a little bit. And my gosh, when Evil Williams here, shit's about to get real. How are you, sir? Great seeing you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, Tom. Oh man. Yeah. What do you think of that Wild Turkey 70th? I've heard the gambit from far left to far right to the fiddle in the middle. Let me know what you think. Did you just pop that, or have you been into it for a little bit? Kind of give me a brief synopsis of it. I'm not going to say anything until I see what you have to say. But anyway, so we did these flights. And boom, right here. Here they are. And Ed was generous. These aren't the small ones. These are a nice pour. You can get 2 good pours out of them on there. Anyway, so we poured them, and wow. Personally, me, A was my favorite, but it was tough with B, and I'll go over that um, I'll go over that in a little bit, but A was my first choice, B was my second, D was my third, and C was my fourth. Now, A and B kind of was like a coin flip to me. Like they both were good whiskeys, but there was something about A that just popped up. It was sweet, fruity, good finish, but kind of light on the palate, which wasn't a real thing to me. But the sweet fruit, I couldn't believe it. That's just what I was getting. So A, which was this one that I had held up, was the 2022. The one that was darn close for me was the 2015 Wild Turkey. The 18 was third, which was here, and the 07 right here was last. I mean, not that it wasn't good, but so for me, I like the current turkeys better than the previous ones. And well, it is what it is, right, people? It is what it is. You like what you like. But I honestly didn't think the A 2022 was as young as it was. In other words, I thought it was a little older because I thought it had a little, it just had that little edge over the 15. I don't know. It is what it is. Hey, Eric, cheers, man. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for popping in and thank you for checking in on the wife and I. Appreciate that. I get a lot of people that, shoot me texts or, send me an email just saying hi or showing me what they had gotten, or like we all do. Hey, what can you find this for? Or what do you think this is worth? And here in Vegas, sometimes it's more expensive than what you can get it for, but it's good to know prices between East Coast, West Coast, you know, gives you an idea of what things are going for in this market today. So, but anyway, uh, let me see what I'm trying to say. Reminds me of Wild Turkey from years ago. Okay, pretty good. Do you think it needs a little more time in a bottle to open up, Tom? Just to kind of see if it develops a little more. Modern Turkey 101 is very different. I still have Austin Nichols stuff and changed around 2012 into modern is much heavier, cherry, nutty. You know what? That's probably it. That's probably what it is I'm gotten. Now I have, hold on, here it is. There we go. This is an older one that and yeah, it's still in this because that's how it was dropped off to me. Bourbon whiskey uncensored. He is very uncensored. Pick this one up for me. And if I'm not mistaken, it's a 15 or 16. I'm trying to see, but I can't read the date code on the back, but it's the old paper label, and people always said, and that's what kind of got us in this discussion on the turkeys, is that the paper labels were a better juice inside. Well, I don't know. I just had some here 2 weeks ago, and I'm not saying it was bad, worse, or indifferent, but I lean towards the newer stuff, just as Rob was saying. through our Russell's Reserve 13 CNF and 15. The 13 and 15 are really ridiculously priced out here, anywhere from $2.99 to $5.99 for a bottle. And yeah, I'm not buying it. Figuratively and literally, I'm not buying it. Always let my pour sit for 20 minutes or so. Anyway, exactly. Sometimes when I do fresh cracks here, I will pre-pour them in a Glen and put a topper on as I'm doing this little bit of a spiel here and just, getting things rolling on along here tonight. And I do the same thing. I like to leave it sit and open up. But what I also will do, not every single time, but most of the time, Tom, I'll take a second glass. And when I think we were talking up there at Liquor Lineup, I said how I like to pour two. And I can't remember if your wife was standing next to us or not. But anyway, I pour two. I sip primarily out of the first one, cap it. I leave enough in there for a good sip or two, and then go back to the second one and compare, contrast, compare, contrast. And then the last sips go back to the first. I kind of do a deep dive into it. But anyway, that's just me. Everybody samples, does what they want, but I really like to go back in there and do stuff like that. Sugar Kitty, yes, I know you are busy. I wish Kilco well. I was over there while I was getting things ready. I know I saw you there and Mr. Morgan and Zen Bood. So good that you guys are over there. Just talking about Kilco, I always like to get in and watch his stream a little bit while he's going away over there and doing his thing. But tonight, while I've got everybody here, I have an affection for this Whiskey Del Bac. And I've reviewed the whiskey before the Diablo. And it is a American Single Malt made in Tucson, Arizona. Yes, Tucson. And they really have some good expressions that I have gotten samples of. And I have one other bottle besides the one I'm going to show you guys tonight and talk about. But I've been impressed with this American malt. Really, I have. It has ticked pretty much all the right boxes for me when I tried that Diablo. I think that's the Diablo, Diado. Oh my gosh. And the bottle's in the other room. I thought it was here. And so I didn't even think of looking for it earlier because I literally thought it was back here. And then when I grabbed the bottle I've got here, I'm like, what did I do with that? Well, it's got to be out back because I got rid of the floor whiskey a couple of weeks ago. So it's definitely not on the floor, though I'm double and triple checking myself just because I know me. I could have popped it off there, but I didn't. So it's out there. But anyway, they're a great whiskey, and they are now being distributed here in Nevada. I don't know if it's around where you are, but I'm telling you, look into it. Bottles range between 40 and $100, or excuse me, yeah, $40 for the rye. They have a rye. I think it's called Sentinel Rye, Sentinel. And some of their limited releases that are in an annual releases are between 90 and 120. And I can tell you, they came out with a bottled and bond. And I think I spoke about that a few weeks ago. Yes, a true bottled and bond made in Tucson. And everybody understands what bottled and bond is. Sitting in a barrel 4 years, one distillery season, blah, 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 blah. And they put it away. Well, it's like here in Nevada, like Texas whiskey, Tucson has a very short cycle when it's in the warehouse. And I asked if they use the smaller barrels. No, they use full-size barrels. And a lot of it does go to the Angels because of how warm it is in the climate and just whiskey doing what it does inside the barrel. I haven't had any. And it's hearsay. But I know where I heard it from, and it was Whiskey Crusaders. And they are saying that that's a pretty darn great bottle. And there won't be another batch out for 4 more years. So I'm figuring out how to get my meat hooks in on one of those and get one. I just was online and saw, well, hey, it's still there. So great, great, great. That's what I say. Great, great, great. But anyhow, we're gonna move forward here a little bit. Uh, that's always a question. I haven't had the 13 on the Russells, or the 15, but somebody will have an answer for that. That I am sure of it. But anyway, so when I was in Yuma last weekend, I stopped at one of my favorite places down there to peruse the selection. And lo and behold, on the shelf was a bottle of Whiskey Del Bac Normandie, the French spelling, if y'all can see that. Sorry. I'm just trying to keep it in focus and keep the thing off of me. That's for sure, because nobody wants to see that. They want to look at this thing. But this is the bottle. It's coming in at 48.5 ABV, or 97 proof. Yep. Bingo. I hit that. But it is a really good whiskey. And I'm going to read from the site a little bit here. So pardon me, but that stuff that they have on the back of the bottle, I'm not going to go down there. Yes, some of you know I've had a pour out of this. I couldn't wait when I got home last week. So I've had a pour. So it's not quite, let me get that closer. And you see how nice and dark that is? Look how dark that is. So it's not quite down to the shoulder, but it's there. But so let me just read this from the site. Normandie is an annual limited release. It's Whiskey Del Bac's classic American single malt, aged in charred new American white oak barrels, then finished in Calvados brandy barrels. The American Single Malt is named after the coastal region in Normandy. Of course, it's spelled with the French spelling, so Normandie, which is known for its creamy cheese, rich seafood, and abundant apples and pears. Nationwide, there are only 1,400 bottles available. 1,400 bottles available. So I'm going to tell you, if you're interested in it and it's something that tickles your fancy, I would highly recommend that in your area start looking for it. Now, I will say this. I don't know if this one is available for them to ship, but certain ones are distillery only, and you got to be there to get them. That's the only thing. And some will ship, but they won't ship out of Arizona. So there's different restrictions. So they do have a site, and you can go over there and you could see it if you want to see what they have or what they don't have. But they have some great selections. As a matter of fact, I know Eric Gunderson has a distiller's cut from them. And I think it's 56 or 57 ABV off the top of my head. I don't quite remember. 54. I'm sorry. Here it is. I just pulled it up. 54. I said 57 is 54. So 109 proof. It's a little over 2 years, but it's a blend of cognac finished, sherry finished whiskey. And I don't know, when you look at this and you look at what's on there, it looks simply delicious. And it's unsmoked. And they do have a smoked version. Some people will say peated. It is not peated. It is smoked. I don't know if this year's winter release but it's going to be an annual thing. I don't know if it was done yet, but I just wanted to give some of you that little tidbit from them. But it is interesting to see and to read about for those of you that like it. But I'm going to pour a little of this juice in there. Like I said, it's nice and dark, looking really good. And I know, but it's like Texas whiskey. A lot of people say, oh, 2-year-old juice or 3-year-old juice, it can't be any good. Well, it is. And it is not what I call a real cork. It's a cork. It is synthetic. Let me get that in my hand there. Boom. So you all can get just a little better look and understanding. But they work fine. I haven't had a problem with the cork loosening up in one of these like I do on my, I think it's my Bunnahabhain 12. That thing is getting loose. And then the Brook Lottie, Classic Lottie, that freaking cork, they're going to force me to have to finish off that bottle. Terrible. I just pour a nice little taste in there. But I mean, this whiskey's dark. I know I showed you, but I'm going to hold it up there. This whiskey is good and dark, and I can smell the sweetness right now in the air. Definitely, you can smell apples. You can smell apples. You can smell the fruit right off the bat on this thing. And by the way, cheers to Whiskey Encore. I'm using one of Cheech's glasses here. It just happened to be the one within my reach. So I said that is the perfect one to put this in. Besides that, I only have 2 others. I thought there was more in here, but no. But oh my gosh, yeah, this is apples. This is caramel, cherry on the nose. You get that little bit of malty sweet breadiness on the nose that you would from a scotch, like a good single malt scotch. Yeah, this really has a nice nose. I mean, this really is like fresh green apples. Yeah, caramel, apples. A little. Yeah, I'm gonna call this and say a little citrusy on the nose. A little citrusy on the nose, which I'm not against at all. So caramel apples, caramel, cherry, citrus. I'm trying to think, is it more lemony or orangey or I don't know. I can't, but it's citrusy. But the apple and caramel is pronounced. It's pronounced. It's right there. It's right at the front. It really pops. I like it. All right. Let me get a sip here. I'm gonna get another little sip here before I. Wow, that's pretty nice. Caramel apple on the palate. Caramel apple, citrus, a little pepper. Little peppery finish there, mid palate. Sweet. There's that citrus, zesty tang right there, kind of back of the palate. Kind of goes from mid to back. Let me just look at something here one more time. Oh, yeah. Caramel, apple, sweet. Nice viscosity. It's not super thick, creamy, lush, but it's nice. I will say this, the finish is not long. I'm going to say it's kind of short, but sweet. Short, but sweet. And then that zest, that tang rolls in, and the pepper is still there, like a black pepper on it. Interesting. Wow, the caramel really pops after you have a couple of sips. Caramel, apple, cherry. Yeah, it's right there on the palate. It is right there on the palate. Sorry, the nose, but when you get it on the palate, the caramel's right there. Huh. Well, I will say this. It's a nice whiskey. Time in a bottle is going to do it well, without a doubt. I think that zest, that citrus note on the back here is coming in. If it was a little more muted, I think I would have more enjoyment. It's not bad at all, but it's that short and sweet finish, but then that zest rolls in there. Overall, I am not disappointed with it. It's MSRP on it is $90. Do I regret buying it? No. I'm going to get this thing a little more down to the shoulder and let it open up for a little bit and see how it does. But I like this apple note and caramel that it has. That's what I like. It is sweet. It's got some viscosity. It has a little pepper on the finish there, so kind of almost like I can't say it's like a rye or a high rye, but the way it grabs my tongue. But the only thing that causes me pause is that citrus note that I get on there. It's not bad, but it's on the finish. It's on the finish. It kind of rolls in mid palate and goes to the back, and that lingers longer than the sweetness of the whiskey. But all in all, I don't think it's bad at all. I would definitely rate it as good. In the Diablo that they have, I keep saying Diablo. Hold on, it's not. I don't think it's the devil. Hold on, sorry. I have to look now because it's got me thinking. Okay, here we go. Oh, Dorado. See, I was close. Dorado, Diablo, Dorado. So they have the classic single malt, which is $60. Then, because the classic wasn't available, but they had the Dorado when I bought my first bottle. That's $60. Then they have the straight rye. They have the straight rye. Let me see if I can get this to cooperate here real quick. There we go. They're the core whiskeys. Oh, what is going on here? Here we go. Now get right here. A little bit more. All right. Stop. Stop. Let's go back here and let's do this. Boom. Okay, here we go. That's the classic. I have the Dorado, and then that's the rye. So these two, the first two are 60 MSRP. The rye is 40 MSRP. I have the one in the center and the Dorado, and I love that thing. That is a good bottle for $60 without a doubt. The Sentinel I have not had in the rye, but I'm going to have to pick that up. And then here is the other ones that they have. There's the Normandie in the center. The Frontera, I think, and don't quote me if Eric's still floating around in there, I think Eric has that one also because we were talking about that. And the other one there is Ode to Isla. Unfortunately, that is a limited release and it's an annual one. But I don't know if it is available yet or if they've, well, it says sold out. So it says sold out, but I don't know if it's sold out from last year because they haven't put this year's up yet. I don't know. I'm going to have to inquire about that. But anyway, yeah. Okay. And you also have the, not cast strength. Oh my goodness. Hold on. I should just look at the darn text, right, Eric? I know what it is. Hold on. Yeah, you have one of the private barrels. You have one of the private barrels coming in at what, 56, 57 proof? 56.1. Yep. So there we go. Yeah, they are nice labels. And then they have that one. Okay, the one on the far right is Ode to Isla. It's not peated. However, the malt is smoked. All right. The malt is smoked. And that's interesting. I'd like to find that particular bottle and get that one. Let me see if I can't get this thing to cooperate. Let's pull it up. Oh my gosh. I'm way over 21 a couple of times. I don't know why the hell it keeps asking me that. All right. I hope you guys can see this. So I'm pulling it up there. Due to high demand, please be patient as our orders may take time to be processed. Bottles will also start hitting retailer shelves in Arizona, New York, Texas, Utah, Colorado, Illinois, California next week. Oh, okay. It's coming out next week. Check with your local retailer and if they don't have it, ask them to bring it in. We do know it should be available at Total Wine and More, Trevor's, and AJ's if you have those stores in your area, which I do, but I don't know if I know there's a distributor here in Vegas, but I don't know if it's being released here in Nevada, as in Whiskey Del Bac in general. So it says, for years, we've released a bold, heavily smoked American single malt inspired by the super smoky single malts of Isla. Formerly known as winter release, we've renamed this classic expression Ode to Isla. So I'm interested in finding that for $90. I will definitely take the plunge and grab that. I don't have a problem with that at all. That's for darn sure. But I don't know about you all or whatever, but let me move this out of there. Sorry. There we go. I was trying to clear it out. But that Ode to Isla definitely tickles my fancy. Hey, Mr. Jiggs, cheers. And here she is, Stacy. 4-Leaf Whiskey. Those of you who don't know Stacy, you need to go over there and sub to her. If you want to know something about Irish whiskey, that's the woman you want to talk to. Trust me. I have texted her from the East Coast to being over here on the West Coast. What do you think of this, or what do you think of that? She is the woman. That is for darn sure. Glad to have you over here. Thank you for popping in, smashing that like button, and saying hello. Let me get a sip of water here. I'm getting dry. But anyway, yeah, amazing, 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 amazing. She's got some great stuff. I hope you all got to watch her today. I know I did off and on while I was putting some stuff together for the stream and getting things ready in here, because I like to do things in a certain way and make sure things work. And then of course, a minute into the not even a minute before starting, we had a slight system error, but that's okay. It picked up and moved on. That's all that counts. That's all that counts. But now, I don't know. I mean, I know there's a lot of people here that are like me, that I do like Scotch, but, and I know Eric doesn't have a problem with American malt whiskey. What is the rest of your opinion on American malt whiskey? Good, bad, indifferent? I think it's good. So far, what I've had, I think is good, and it's pretty much been from them. I like it. And let me just say, does it trump a true single malt Scotch? No, no, I'm not convinced that it would trump a true single malt Scotch, without a doubt. No. But man, it's a nice sipper when you get it. When you get it, that's for sure. And I do like this also. I mean, like I said, I think this is good. The citrus note I do get on it is not terrible, but to me it seems to rear its head when you don't want to. In other words, just about, well, the finish is over, but then that's what comes through. Like I said, it's a short, sweet finish, and then that zesty tang comes through and lingers longer than the finish. And it's not terrible. So maybe a little time in a bottle, a little air will really, bring this thing more into focus and round it off a little bit. Hey, Donner Pass. Cheers, man. Thanks for popping in here. I know you probably saw the thumbnail, and little American single malt tasting going here from Whiskey Del Bac. And so far, I'm going to tell you it's good. So, I appreciate you coming over here, saying hello, smashing that like button, raise a little glass to you. I got a little bit left in here. So cheers, sir. Oh yeah. Caramel apple. Definitely caramel apple. I mean, thinking about it, an apple you dipped in caramel, candy apple, you dip it in caramel. There you go. That's it. The caramel apple. I just got a nice little touch of ethanol. But like I said, I'm happy with the whiskey. I think it's good. I just think a little time in the bottle, and if that little orange zest wasn't there, um, that would tickle me, as in to definitely say, oh yeah, there it is. So time in the bottle. That's all I'm going to say. Time in the bottle. We'll see in a couple of weeks. But it won't stop me from sipping on this, because I love this caramel apple on the nose and on the palate right off the bat. It's very, very good. Very good. Oh, I'm telling you, when you get that on the nose, John, it's caramel, it's apple, it's it's a little citrusy. You get a little cherry note on there. Uh, there's just something else that's lingering there on the nose that I can't quite nail down, but no big deal. But the caramel apple is wow. So that Calvados, I think I'm saying that correctly. Calvados cask. I like it. I like that finish on there. I really do. I like that finish. Sorry, just got a little something else off of that last sip. I'm like, but yeah. So there's enough there for me to keep going. There's enough there for me to keep going, and I'm going to be interested to see in a few weeks just how well this thing does, just how well it does with a little time. So, what else has everybody come up with this week? Last 2 weeks, did you get any new purchases, so on and so forth? Something that you have on the way coming? I know I have a few things that I have to get into and open up. I have a now. Where the heck? See what happens? I went and rearranged this a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just going to go and point and say, hey, we're going to be doing A, B, C, and D. And I moved it. I'm like, where is my on deck bottles? Where are my on deck bottles, Anthony? Oh, right in front of me, because I don't have floor whiskey, but I did arrange it in a box. So, believe it or not, I have not opened this yet, and I've had it on the floor for a year. It is the Glendronach Revival. I'm not going to open it tonight, but I'm going to have to open that thing. I've eyeballed it a few times. It's a beautiful dark whiskey. 46 ABV. So I'm very happy with that. So that was one of the ones on deck that I definitely have got to get to and open up. And where's the other one there? Where's the other one? Is this one? There. Boom. There it is. It's like, I could have swore I brought it in here. It got in the box with the other one, with the other stuff that was on deck. So this is the other Whiskey Del Bac that I have. And that was the first one. But look at this. This right here is the one tonight. Here's the other one. They look very similar. Sorry. But this one right there is definitely darker. Definitely darker. And that's got to be from that Calvados finish. But this one here is 46 ABV coming in at 92 proof. I really like this. It's their standard, but this is really nice. This is opened up well also. I never even looked in there because I thought it has to be out there. For darn sure it had to be out there. So I don't even know what that bottle is. I'm mistaken for this one. But let's see. What is this? Oh, didn't even realize that sucker was in there. Weller foolproof, not opened. I got another one up there. We're going to leave that sitting there. What is this? Oh, yeah. Now this one, the 12, I want to try. I haven't cracked that yet. I've had a pour a couple of years ago, but I can't remember if I liked it or not on the 12. So that's a couple of my on deck, ready to roll whiskeys. Hey, hanging. Cheers, man. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you popping in here saying hello, brother. The Stellum Cask Strength Wine Bourbon marked down to 29 each. Discontinued, I guess. You know what, Tom? So when Stellum came out, I was down at Total Wine with Steve, and he opened them. I mean, they just hit. And when I tasted them, it's what I get when I drink a Old Forester private barrel or private select, is flavor and then intense heat. Intense heat. And it just turned me from that Stellum. And I went from the rye to the bourbon, and that's all I got was nothing but heat. Flavor for a fleeting moment, and then nothing but heat. And I was ready to buy one of each, but he opened them and I tried it. I am so glad I did. Those bottles have never graced these shelves, nor have I tried Stellum again since that. And that's got to be almost 4 years ago. Let's say 3-4 years ago. I'm going to give you 3 for sure. 3 for sure. But yeah, I just was not happy with those original releases of Stellum. And if I'm not mistaken, Barrel owns Stellum. Barrel Bourbon Company. This one right here, they own it. But in my opinion, if it is being discontinued, I can understand why. It just wasn't a hitter. But, at $30, I'm not going to buy it and waste my money, in my opinion. But if somebody thinks that they're okay, well, they could be more than okay for $30 a bottle. More than okay for $30 a bottle. That's my 2 cents on Stellum. Now, one of the ones I've been going back and nipping on lately was the 1792, just straight bottled and bond. I find that now that this has opened up, I really enjoy the flavor. I like 1792 in general. The small batch, that's an excellent whiskey. And I will say this, with about 2 to 3 drops of water in that 1792 small batch, boom, it kicks it up a notch. Kicks it up a notch. But I've been enjoying sipping on this one, and then the bottled and bond store pick, and that's when I did the tasting with both of them, and I really honestly couldn't pick A from B. They just plain tasted the same when I did that. Absolute same. I mean, there wasn't one thing on that private barrel that stuck out over the standard shelfer for me. Well, let me just say this. If it was, good for you. Good for you. But I don't think I've seen Knob Creek Single Barrel Reserve for $33 each. Don't think I've seen that hanging at all. At all. So, yeah, if you $33 for that, they're a great stocking stuffer. Just saying. Sorry, Mr. Jiggs. Just saying, they're a great stocking stuffer because, that time of year is coming. And I do have a reinforced stocking that I put out for that guy to fill it up. So it's okay. It will hold a lot of bottles. Just saying, it's getting to be that time, people. Just saying. So another one that I talked about 2 weeks ago, this one here. This is Gusro, and I never heard of it, but I like a rye, and they were getting rid of it for that. I left the sticker on there because I wanted people to see it. Do you know I'm seeing these freaking bottles for $100+? These. this brand for $100+ a bottle. This is good. Finished in a cognac barrel. It's a rye. It's MGP. Produced and bottled by Savage and Cook in Vallejo, California. But, oh, I'm sorry. Faux pas. It is not MGP. There's another one up there that is. I just spoke out of turn. Distilled in Tennessee. Hey, you got to be prepared, Sugar Kid. You got to be prepared. Are you referring to the Knob Creek, Sugar Kitty, or are you talking about this? But I was going to say $45 to $50. I was going to say $50 is about what it's going for here too, for what Hangen's talking about, for sure. But I really like this one. It's 6 years, 50 ABV, finished in a cognac barrel. This thing this is a great bottle. Bitch of a stopper. I mean, to pulling this thing out, oh my gosh. That's what I figured. That's what I figured you're talking about, was that. But yeah, it's a heck to get out. And sometimes when my arthritis is kicked up, man, I just cannot. And no, I did not paint one nail. That's what happens when you close it in a door. But that was a minute ago, but it's going to be forever before that sucker goes. But you don't have to do that often to remember why you haven't done it in 35 more or plus years. That's for sure. Really? Interesting, Peter. Interesting. Very interesting. So, since we're on that little talk, since we're talking about Lafroig, let's talk about Lagavulin. So, oh, looky here. The great state of Virginia is represented. Mr. Slapshot. Cheers, brother. Hope you're well. Thanks for popping in, saying hello, and hitting that like button so hard, Mike Stahl gets a bump on his forehead. I've showed this before. I was able to pick this turkey up. This is the first Offerman released, thanks to, again, Bourbon Whiskey Uncensored. He found this in a little jaunt that he was on and knew that I needed this to complete my collection. Ta-da. Now, I haven't opened it yet to compare it with the other ones. But again, when he dropped it off, he wrapped it so nice. So nice. And I am really happy to get this bottle. I can't complain. I'm really, really happy to try this thing and get that out. Or I want to do that and do a blind. Well, it doesn't have to be a blind necessarily, but because the latest Offerman is in the Caribbean rum cask, and that will stick out like a sore thumb. Then it's the charred oak. Then it's the Guinness cask, and of course, then this one. So it's not like you're not going to be able to tell them apart. So blind isn't really going to do it, but I just want to see what this one here was like. And anyway, so I was able to get that. Like I said, I know I've shown this, but I just want to say it's here. It's in the rotation to come up and try for sure. It is there, and I can try it with the other ones. And believe it or not, that one is. I haven't had this. I thought I had the Bowman one, but not this one, not the single barrel. So there's going to be another one that's going to have to pop up here real soon. But you get so many of them, it's like which one am I doing next? Which one am I doing next? And then something like this pops up, and then it circumvents everything. But I'll get there. I most certainly will get there. Where is the next one? I don't have it on the floor. Is it? No. Where is it? That's the rye. That's Yellowstone. Oh, in front of me. Should have known. Has anyone tried the Still Austin rye yet? I got this a bit ago. I haven't opened it. But everybody knows I am a fan of Still Austin. That is for sure. You know what? I think it was Bowman Brothers, and you're right. I think that's what I had. And the only reason why it made me think about that is I saw a bottle and I went, huh. So now I'm second guessing myself on that. But yeah, I really enjoy Still Austin, and I have not cracked this yet, but that's going to be another one I have to get into. Now, I did tell you, thanks to Thomas that was in here, I did get to taste the Nancy Fraley picks because he was the one that had that, and I got to taste them from there. And oh my goodness gracious, I shouldn't say pick. She blended. Oh my gosh, was that just delicious? That was just delicious. And I really thanked him and his wife for that. And if you're still around here, Tom, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's another event coming up this month at that liquor lineup. I was invited to go. I got to check to see if I'm even going to be in town that weekend, but I just don't know the date. Do you know? Oh, it's phenomenal. I got two of them. The Still Austin cast strength. Sorry, I'm going to stand up. This one here, and then hold on. Well, sorry. I was incorrect. So let me just say, here's the cast strength, to which I absolutely love, Tom. Yeah, this is great juice, and you are absolutely right, Rob. Absolutely right. So this is the standard cast strength. And then I picked up, let me see which one's in my hand here. Okay. This is the Total Wine cast strength, their pick, coming at 116, which is very good. I haven't opened this bottle because I've had a couple pours of it from Total Wine. So I know that this is phenomenal, but I've gotten this one here, and Big Vic gave this one to me because he knows that I really like this. But this one is from Whiskey Tornado. This is the Barrels of Hope. So this is one from them. Oh, it is such a good drop. I mean, look at that color. Look at that color on that thing. This is, I mean, the Still Austin was the one that brought me back. And I've said this dozens of times, brought me back to Texas whiskey because I got the Garrison Brothers and Balcones. There you go. I said it. Balcones is shit. It ranks up there with Long Branch as far as I'm concerned. And everybody knows how much I love Long Branch. So it's right up there with Long Branch. I mean, Long Branch still edges it out because it's the shittiest whiskey going. But that Balcones, and I've had a couple of others, and people have sworn up and down how good it was. Some were marginally better than the ones I had on the Balcones, but all in all, you can keep that shit. Keep it. The rye's all over the place, bud. You are not going to have a problem finding the rye, without a doubt. Oh, I heard that one is really good too. So I just haven't had, a cast strength like this that's been bad. And I've tried 3 of them besides the 2 you have here. So theirs has got to be freaking a hitter. It's got to be, because this Barrels of Hope one is very good. Very good. 5 to 6 years is amazing if this truly is that old, Rob. I mean, serious. And for Texas whiskey, period, just like in Tucson, to be able to get it to go 4 years to make a bottled and bond because of the climate, that is amazing. And it has got to be some damn good juice. Okay. So yeah, this is the one you're talking about, Peter. I don't get that. I have heard that. When I say a few people, literally a few people have mentioned that to me, that they got that. I do not get that metallic taste at all. Where I will get a metallic or mineral note, of course, copper pot still, Irish. I picked that up on there. But like Bushmills Prohibition, I do not get that on there. That copper pot still minerality does not come through on that for me. It is too, Ben. Cheers, brother. Appreciate you popping in here. Yeah, well, they're just not here, Rob. They're just not here. But I've had those, and I think, Tom, didn't you have one of the bottled and bonds that I tried along Nancy's? I don't know if I have that picture in my phone, but I know I took the bottle. I took the pictures of the 2 bottles. But anyway. Okay, bud. Be safe. 5 and 6 years, if they can do it, you're right. It is amazing, but boy, that's tough to do. I mean, that you've got to watch that. And let me tell you something, there's got to be a lot of evaporation in those barrels. That's the whole thing. There's got to be a lot in there. But man, if they can get that juice out of there, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So can you imagine the Whiskey Del Bac's bottled and bond 4-year? I have to get a bottle of it. It's 4 years old. I've got to get a bottle of that. That would be perfect. I mean, truthfully, it would. And no, it's not Texas whiskey, but I'm just saying, I got to try it. And Ode to Isla, of course. Ode to Isla, of course. Yeah, if it doesn't appeal to you, bud, yeah, don't do it. I got it. If you have a bottle at home and it's just not making your toes tap or anything like that, well, you know what? Maybe find something to mix it with, or maybe you got some people who want to come over and want to try Texas whiskey. I'm not saying that's a good way to get rid of it, but you know, we've all got a few whiskeys that just didn't make our toes tap. We thought it would be good because we've had a few from them, but I hate to say it's not a Lagavulin, it's not a Lafroig, so I got it. I absolutely got it. Ho, ho, ho. Look at this, Mr. Franklin. How are you, sir? Cheers. Thank you for coming in here. Got a little bit left in my glass here just to raise it up. Yes, it is like I said, the Whiskey Encore glass. So cheers to you and Cheech, since I got his glass. Caramel apple. I'm telling you, caramel apple. Without a doubt. Um, I think I did see that. I think I did see that on there because I went down that wormhole of Still Austin and YouTube, but it's been a year or so at least since I went down there. But I watched a few videos on them, and I do recall now that you mentioned it that they use that on there. But I'm telling you, I really do that. They are the whiskey that brought me back to Texas. They really are. I enjoy their whiskey so much. I really do. I don't, when you get a plethora, I don't, well, I did this one, but, and the musician, I don't even know the musician's still up there. I like that. And that's just their normal everyday uh, shelf for the musician. That matter of fact, that's the flagship. The musician is the flagship bottle that they brought out and introduced to everybody. And for the money, you cannot beat it. I'm trying not to have floor whiskey, although I do have a bottle down there now. So let's throw this back up here. Getting to be that time of year for a little midwinter's night dram. Yes, I'm making this one last. I got this last year as a Christmas present. This is Act 11 Scene 9. I wouldn't buy them before because, frankly, I didn't want to spend the $200, $300 plus dollars for a $90, $100 bottle, let's say. And I mean, I have tried it, so not one before this. Yeah, it's good, but to me, it wasn't $200, $300 good. But, ooh, man, I got this for Christmas. My wife picked it up for me got it for $100. So when I opened that up, I was like, it wasn't worth it. She says, it wasn't worth $100. I said, it's worth $100, but not what you paid for it. So long short of it is, she says, no, I paid a C note for it. I'm like, bingo, perfect present. But now this is getting to be that time of year for this juice. That's for sure. Let me stick that back up here. Let me stick that back up here. It is getting to be that time. Oh, my Still Austin. Let me move that here next to the other Still Austins. But oh my goodness. Let me get a sip of water here. Perfect. Sorry. Ever since I had that cold a little while back, I just seem to be not overly thirsty, but when I talk a lot, for some reason, my throat starts getting that dry and getting that tickle. So drinking water besides drinking whiskey, I'm really into drinking a lot more water. As Whiskey Mountains would say, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Oh my goodness. Oh, absolutely, Sugar Kitty. I mean, even at $150, I think it's good, but I can't see paying over 100. I mean, if I knew the bottle was exceptional, I might throw another $20 at it, but I am not going to. I'm not going to spend 150, $160 on it. And you're right. There's other stuff I would like to have that has a price tag like that on it that I know is going to be great juice. I'm willing to pay for some things. I really am. And I do like that whiskey, but the price point is just getting to be too much. Just getting to be too much. It's not where I want to be. And we've talked about this dozens and dozens of times that we all have this price we're willing to pay, and we'll throw in a few more shekels towards it if the price is high. But a lot of this stuff is just getting ridiculous. Just like Kilco was saying, he was buying the Eagle Rare just a few years ago for $35. Now, I agree with you, Sugar Kitty. $50 is about the going rate if you can find it for $50. But here in Vegas, $100, $200, easy. $100 is about the average depending on where you go. But I've seen places have Eagle Rare for $100 to $200 for a bottle. Are you insane? Absolutely insane. I said, that thing's going to rot there. But there's an ass for every seat, and somebody's going to come along and drop that money down. But me as a proprietor of a liquor joint, look, I want to roll product out that door because I laid out them dead presidents to get it on the shelf. I want dead presidents coming back to me for a profit, but I want to move them out the door. I don't want to sit on these museum pieces or turn them into museum pieces. That's for damn sure. That I just can't believe it. But like I said, they sell 1 or 2 of those bottles a year at 3 times the price. I guess to them it's worth it. As a proprietor of an establishment like that, that wouldn't be worth it to me. I want the line out the door because people know that I have fair prices. That stuff that I bring in is going to go out that door. I'm certainly don't want to, this is me, jack them prices up to that I've seen for bottles of whiskey like Michter's. This one right here, the Michter's Straight Rye, right there, like $3.99, $4.99 for this bottle. Yes, the 10-year. Got to be kidding me. I mean, it's not gold. And speaking of gold, Blanton's gold going for, $129, $159 for a bottle of that Blanton's gold. Are you kidding me? Now, I've had a taste of the single barrel, the Blanton's. Ooh, that was good. But the standard Blanton's, shit. It's in here somewhere. I got a standard Buffalo Trace. It's a store pick. Shit. That thing is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. Which one is this? There. Here's a good one. Penelope Architect. I don't know why I haven't went back to this. I just forgot about it. But the Penelope Architect, I like it. This is a nice bottle. I've had one pour from this, but I've had other pours. This is a good bottle. I leave this sucker out, so I remember it's there. The problem is I move it to make room for other things, and then it goes into a box or another part of the floor, and then I forget. Unfortunately, I do. It just happens. But anyhow, I do believe, if I am not mistaken, I'm almost positive. Now, I just haven't seen the thumbnail, so I'm a checking here. But I haven't seen the thumbnail for Livewire. Has anyone else seen anything for? Oh, here we go. Yes. There is a Livewire pub coming up tonight. I just found it, scheduled for 6 o'clock. Perfect. That's what I wanted to know. For some reason, it just did not pop up on my feed, but it is. But there will be a Livewire whiskey at 6. That's for sure. So make sure that when you all get over there, tell him I sent you. But I'm sorry if he boots you, but I'm not the most popular person on YouTube. So there you go. But anyway, I'll give you all a little bit of a break because, like I said, Livewire is coming on in 15 minutes. Get up, stretch, do your thing. And I appreciate everybody for popping over. Give you one last cheers and say, hey, what is this? Yeah. Well, there it is. There it is. Absolutely right. But hey, Whiskey Joker, cheers, man. Good to see you. So, everybody get ready for Livewire Whiskey. I'm sure I will pop in there after I have a little bit of dinner. What do we got here? Yep, 5:46 here in Las Vegas right now. So you all get ready, and I will look to see you all. I'm trying to think. Will I be home this weekend coming? I think I will. If not, I will make sure I post it. But I do believe so. I think it's the following weekend. I have a 3-day weekend, Veterans Day coming up. But anyway, no, it is this. It's this coming weekend that's coming up because it'd be Monday. I'm off tomorrow and I'm off next Monday. So okay, I was confused, but anyway, everyone have a great evening. I look forward to seeing you all hopefully next week. Cheers, everybody. Good night.